Hi and Assalamualaikum to Miss Siti Nurfatana. Today we will like to present project management about the PRIMA, which is known as Perumahan Rakyat 1 Malaysia. We are from group AM22X5D. Alright, so in our group, we have 5 group of members. The first presenter is me, Nurul Hazika binti Arifin. The second presenter is Nur Syafawati binti Sharom. The third presenter is Sofia Nurfara binti Aidil Azhari. The fourth presenter is Nur Aida Akilah binti Ramli. And the last presenter is Muhammad Farid bin Abdul Rashid. Alright, next is the background of the PRIMA, which is known as the Perumahan Rakyat 1 Malaysia. Perumahan Rakyat 1 Malaysia was initiated under the PRIMA Act 2014 by Malaysian Prime Minister, which is Najib Tun Razak. It is managed by the government-owned company Perbadanan Prima Malaysia under the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. According to Perbadanan Prima 1 Malaysia, so far there has been 54 projects and 13 states, which is in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Perak, Kedah, Perlis, Pulau Pinang, Pahang, Kelantan, Melaka, Johor, Negeri Sembilan, and included Sabah and Sarawak. There are 7 functions and responsibility of PRIMA. The first function and responsibility is in shaping an integrated community for the middle income group. The second is to supervise, plan, and manage the design construction of the houses. Next, it is responsible in maintenance aspect of PRIMA homes and community. The fourth is in determining the sales price. The fifth is in allocating the PRIMA homes through an audited balloting and collaborating with financial institution. Next is it is also essential in safeguarding the PRIMA brand by fixing the development and execution standards and enforcing the standards. And last but not least is it drives the smart partnership between the government and private sector to realize the given mandate more efficiently.
There are several problems of PRIMA houses which are: first, the locations of PRIMA houses are not strategic due to lack of facilities. Second, the applicants of PRIMA houses unable to apply loan due to their economic restrictions. Third, insufficient and expensive land to build PRIMA houses. Fourth, affordability issues and different price sets of different PRIMA houses. Next, we continue with the first issues. My name is Nur Syafawati binti Sharom and I will proceed with the first issues. The first issues is the locations of PRIMA houses is not strategic due to the lack facilities. First point, poorly conceptualized and managed housing project will not create home equity in the long run. This can be supported by the statement made by the Chief Executive Officer of the PRIMA, which is it hard to maintain the aim of PRIMA houses to have strategic location features, as not all the terms of strategic location can be applied to PRIMA home tenant, as they are divided into several group of petition that allow them to have different views of the location they choose. As for the second point, poor performance underscored to more lacking in the facilities. This is because the location will be far from the main road and public transportation that will harm the daily life of the tenant at PRIMA houses, especially towards the tenant with limited household expenses and tenant who do not have any vehicles to go to work. This situation will affect the PRIMA project in achieving their objective, which is to help the middle income group to be able to own their dream home without the fear of excessive burden. As for the next point, 56 phases of PRIMA project are being cancelled. This statement is taken on article that mentions most of existing PRIMA houses do not have any tenant due to the lack facilities in terms of quality of homes and bad feedback review from the old tenant. This situation happen when some of the old tenant are not responsible for leaving the house in bad condition, leading to the new tenants feel reluctant to apply as a new tenant. This will lead to the bad developments of PRIMA houses. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sofia Nurfara binti Aidil Azhari and I will proceed with the next issues in the PRIMA project development, which is the insufficient and expensive lands to build PRIMA houses. Basically, land and housing matters in Malaysia fall under the authority of the state and local council. It is quite hard for the federal government to acquire land for the Prima project as they need to go through certain process and procedure. However, state and local council may have their own affordable house program as they can give more clear view on the program offered to the people. State and local council would prefer the project that they get interest for, especially giving the project by to the private developers to achieve its established goals and to generate profit. The availability of the land with reasonable price threatened the federal government to continue the Prima project. This is because the scarcity of the land is due to urbanizations, the competitive use of the land with high-rise buildings and apartments more imperative, especially in cities and urban areas, directly rise the price of the land. So it is expensive for Prima to acquire the land in the main towns where many demand comes from there. Due to this problem, Prima need to invest more money to buy the land and continue their project to build houses that cheaper compared to the other.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aida Akila binti Ramli. So I will proceed with the next problems of Prima, which is the applicants of the Prima houses unable to apply loan due to the economic restrictions. Generally, loans are necessary for those, especially people with middle and low income groups. However, these groups of people might have difficulties in getting houses loan due to certain circumstances. The applicants for these houses might have gotten a house if they are aligned with the requirements for the house. However, there lies a bank who is responsible to decide whether the applicants will have sufficient money for the deal. Moreover, in second half of 2015, more than 50% of loan applications for the affordable house were rejected, as according to the Real Estate and Housing Developers Association Malaysia, REHDA. Even though the economic condition is one of the major issues, but there are other reasons why many loan applicants fail in getting their loans, such as insufficient buyer's income and substandard credit history, such as Central Credit Reference Information System, CCRIS and CTOS. Next, obtaining home loans are not only difficult for Prima, but other developers, especially those who involve in public housing programs, also face these kinds of problems. Prima Chairman Tan Sri A.D. Chen Loy said that they are working with partners to ensure that they get much loans approved by the banks. He also mentioned that they are depending on the market and the ability of the applicants of Prima houses to get and secure their loans in order to continue the development of the house. So that's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farid bin Abdul Rashid. I will proceed with the next problem faced by the Prima project. The problem is affordability issue and different price set of different Prima house. According to Perbadanan Prima Malaysia, one Prima house costs between RM100,000 to RM400,000, consists of terrace house and apartment house. It is a range price set by the government under Prima Act 2012. Private developers have the power to set the price because they are the one who develop the house under government contract. As we all know, private developers are profit oriented. Therefore, there are maybe possibility that they increase the price of the Prima house to gain more income from this project. The house project developed by state government are more affordable than Prima house. According to Azmin Ali, who is our current Minister of International Trade and Industry, who was Chief Minister of Selangor on 2015, stated that he criticized the planning of government to develop Prima houses since the state government of Selangor has set off affordable housing price below RM250,000. Moreover, Prima house does not have specific price set, therefore the applicants may face inequality of different price set in purchasing the Prima house. For instance, at the house price of RM250,000, the applicant who live in developed area which are occupied with the facilities may have smaller terrace than the applicant who live underdeveloped area.
There are several solutions and recommendations of Prima houses, which are: first, provide transit-oriented development, which is the Prima houses will be located near public transportation and easy access to highway. Second, urban well-being housing and local government minister give license to developer to give loans to the applicant. Third, collaborations of federal government with state, local government and private developer. Fourth, presenting the prima houses at market price and affordable average price. Next, we continue with the first solution and recommendation. For the first point, government should ensure that every aim and objective that has been set out is being fulfilled. For example, in the issues of prima houses is not at the strategic location. This issue shows that how important for a project manager to do in-depth study of each location that is intended to be prima project site, as this project is one of the hopeful project towards the people which enable them to know and concern more about it. For the second point, provide transit-oriented development, which is the prima houses will be located near public transportation and easy access to highway. Okay, by doing this, it can overcome and help the middle income group to be able to own their dream home without the fear of excessive burden. Directly, it also can help ease their burden of making a living and reduce daily cost of use. At the same time, the government can achieve their own goal in helping the group of middle income and achieving objective of Prima project itself. It also can give good impact and feedback from the people. For the last point is emphasize every rules and regulations to every Prima home tenants. The government needs to be more proactive in ensuring that every Prima unit is in good quality for a long-term use. This is because to maintain the quality of the house, thus to reduce the reluctance of new tenants to apply for the house. This suggestion can also help remedy many Prima homes that are abandoned or uninhabited. Thank you.
So the solutions in this issue is the collaboration of federal government with state and local government and also with the private developer. Strong cooperation between federal, state and local government is very important in Prima project. In this case, building house is subjected under the state and local government authority. Therefore, there must be a clear provisions from the state and local government on the land acquisitions for the development of Prima project to prevent any problems arise later. Besides that, federal government should exercise pragmatic approach by collaborate with private housing developer and re-examine the existing rules and regulation that provide win-win situation to all stakeholders. Okay, in Prima project, federal government has collaborated with SIMDRB in both innovative and sustainable features in building houses. From this collaboration, industrialized building system IBS was produced to shorten the construction period while ensuring the build quality sustainable features such as solar energy and rainwater harvesting system. In this context, federal government can reduce the problem of expensive land as it involved two developers at once in acquiring the land. The collaboration effort does make it easier for the federal government to build high quality housing in urban area. Okay, thank you. That's all.
So we proceed with the next solution for the Prima houses, which is Urban Wellbeing Housing and Local Government Minister give license to developers to give loans to the applicants. This license will be issued under the Money Lenders Act 1951 Amendment 2011 by the responsible parties, which are Urban Wellbeing Housing and Local Government Minister. Furthermore, the eligible developers now can provide financing for the home buyers as the government has given them permission to be issued with money lending license. The local government minister, Tan Sri Nur Omar, allowed the developers to give loans because this can eventually overcome the problem faced by the home buyers in securing the loan from the bank. During the 19th National Housing and Property Summit, which was held at hotel in Kuala Lumpur, Tan Sri Nur Omar also mentioned that this suggestion is a win-win situation for both home buyers and developers. Moreover, this suggestion by the ministry is also intended to help the buyers as well as the developers. Tan Sri Nur Omar also stated that this initiative can be considered as the second chance for financing provided by the government. But it is up to the buyers either they want to make loan from the developers or the specific banks. For example, the developers such as Sunway Berhad find this initiative as a good action taken by the government as it gives the developers more flexibility to help in funding the buyers. So, it can be concluded that this initiative is one of the ways to reduce the difficulties and hardship of the home buyers in securing and obtaining the bank loans. Thank you.
Next, the solution will be presenting the prima houses at market price and affordable average price. As we all know, the government did not have specific price set. It will lead to inequality of different sets houses received by the applicants. Prima can specify and reduce prices as much as other house project under home ownership campaign. This campaign was announced by YB Lim Guan Eng during tabling of budget 2020 on 2019. Many of the houses sold below launching price and even lower than the market price. For instance, the program had reduced 80% of prima houses are below than 3,000 ringgit, 300,000 ringgit and many of 150,000 ringgit category. Therefore, many people will be benefited from this campaign. Moreover, government should produce more affordable public scheme to make the private developers of prima houses reduce the price. Due to the competitiveness of other public schemes that formulated by the government, this will ensure that the developers of the prima houses will be facing an overhang supply. Many properties of prima houses, especially above 300,000 ringgit, will be unsold. Then, developer must reduce their housing price to cope with the given public housing scheme that proposed by the government.
In conclusion, there are 4 issues in the prima. So the first issue is due to the location of the prima houses are not strategic, which is far from the facilities. And then the second one is the prima houses also have a difference in price set of different prima house. The third one is insufficient and expensive lands due to prima houses is built in the key urban areas. And last but not least is the prima issue when the applicants of the prima houses are unable to apply loan due to their economic restriction. Thank you.